It's time for Howlers and Growlers. A weekly show from our Arizona Coyotes writing pack, bringing you the latest news, rumors, trades, player grades, prospects, and much more. From training camp to the playoffs, from draft day to the trade deadline, our team covers everything ice hockey in the hot desert. So sit back, grab your favorite cold beverage, and get ready for Howlers and Growlers.
Welcome to Howlers and Growlers. I am your host, Pat Brown, and we are thrilled to have you here for another show. Joining me, as always, my Coyotes line mate at the Hockey Writers, Haynes Evans. Haynes, how you doing tonight?
Doing well. I'm holding in there. A lot of good recently in life, so just hopefully that trends upwards. And brought out the whole Hawaiian shirts one last time. Christmas theme. Brought out one last time. You can't really tell, but there's Santas on here in bathing suits. So brought out some Christmas vibes here.
Absolutely loving the shirt, and I believe congratulations are in order, Mr. League Champion. Tell us, just give us really quick 10, 15 seconds what it felt like to win that championship.
Awesome. I mean, I haven't won a state champion. I haven't won a championship in hockey since high school, and every year that I've played in men's league since I've finished, maybe beginning of high school, by the time I turned 18, every year I've played men's league, I haven't won a playoff game ever. So this season was the first time I won a playoff game, and then to win it all and to score in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And to go out on top undefeated. I got the MVP. I got the little, we have this little like tomahawk where the Chiefs. I have this like little foam tomahawk. I was player of the game. It was, I'm getting the trophy next week from the captain. So everything's good right now. It was an exciting thing.
So basically Haynes won the Conn Smythe is what he's saying. And
kinda, yeah.
Haynes, do you get your day with the trophy? Do you get a day with the trophy?
I do. I'm picking it up next week on Wednesday. So
well,
I'll get a couple days with it. It'll be on the show.
Sure
at some point.
Make sure you document that and put it up on Twitter, and we'll make sure everybody follows you. Burying the lead here, also joining us, a great friend of the show, credentialed New Jersey Devils reporter here at the Hockey Writers, and my very good friend, Kristy Flannery. Kristy, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm honored to be sitting here with our very own Mike Rizzioni. Like, I don't even know. I might need to get an autograph at some point. This
Absolutely.
is very exciting.
Oh, yeah. We need to be the first for sure. Haynes, send us your autograph. We got to have it.
I'll put you nothing on the market. I appreciate that. I'll put you nothing on the market.
Well, nonetheless, I like it. So in the spirit of the show, and this being our last show before Christmas, let's have a quick toast and see what you guys are drinking. And we'll start out because we ran out of beer in the house. So I hit up the old Costco advent calendar. I've got a wonderful Luna Brilliante red wine blend out of Spain. And in case you guys are wondering, like a great flamenco dancer, this Spanish red blend is zesty, spicy, and right at home on the tabletop. So that's what I'm drinking. Kristy, what do you got?
I have a little wintry, delicious, magical concoction of Bailey's and hot chocolate.
Love it.
Can't go wrong.
Haynes, you got to tell us, what's the drink of champions? Fill us in.
The drink of champions the other night was a Corona. The drink of post championship now is I'm drinking Austin, Texas, Austin's East Cider, a blackberry cider, and I've had their blood orange and is a great one, and blackberry trying something new. I like blackberry, so loving it so far. So we'll hopefully that'll carry on as the episode goes on.
That sounds delicious. Well, cheers to all of you. Let's talk some hockey, shall we? And we're going to get the bad right out of the way, right out of the gate, because if you guys are watching this at home, you know, we don't need to tell you that hockey has been paused until after the holidays. Obviously, with the COVID pause, the Coyotes haven't played now for a little while. Their last game, a win against Anaheim. So the Coyotes have effectively paused on top of the world because their last game was a win. So question for you guys, given that, are you concerned? You know, the pause has given some time for teams to heal up and get healthy. They've got a lot of teams have a lot of players on the COVID list, but is there a concern that this could pause any momentum that the Coyotes built in that awesome 6-5 win over Anaheim? Haynes, let's start with you.
Yeah. First off, that was a great game. That was a great effort from the guys on the team to really kind of rally around and come back when that game could have gone out of hand, and they stayed in it. for so long, and to see Keller just play so great and top it off with that winner there is great. And, as much as I love the momentum that builds off there, we do realize that this is a team that's lost 21 regulation games. While I think this is a great momentum booster, at the same time, I don't know how much it really helps Arizona knowing who they go against every night for the most part. So I think it boosts them around the locker room, but I don't know if it's going to, equate out to like 20 wins in the next like 40 games.
Yep. Makes sense. And for those of you at home, that was Friday, I believe, was their win over Anaheim, and then games against Vancouver, Seattle, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, which was supposed to be Thursday. We are taping Wednesday night. All canceled before the break. So, Kristy, your thoughts, and it's okay to bring a little New Jersey point of view in here too, seeing how maybe it messes up their momentum too. What type of effect does a pause like this have on a team?
It's so funny. I feel like every time I talk about New Jersey, we need to like take a sip because there's so many like parallels that I can talk about. I feel you guys had 4 players on COVID protocol, or is it more at this point?
I don't.
4 last time I checked. It was
I haven't since they
Yeah.
paused. I really haven't been keeping up with it.
So I would say that just seeing how everything went with New Jersey, I'd say that it's good to pause it because it's kind of a snowball. Like once 1 or 2 players get it, you don't know where that's going to go in that locker room. So before it gets out of control, I would say pause it. This isn't a team that's going to be like Stanley Cup contenders. I'm sorry, Coyotes.
I don't think anybody's offended by that.
I apologize, but I would say let's nip it in the bud now and get everyone healthy and get everyone on the right track. So I'm okay with it. And New Jersey's also lost 5 games, so it's not killing any momentum for that team either. But get everybody healthy and get everybody on the right track.
For sure. It makes sense. And another interesting development, obviously the NHL in their announcement, was it today or yesterday, that they were pausing the season as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I think it's super interesting. Yeah, I actually don't remember what I was going to say. Was that weird?
You talking about Olympics? You talking about
I literally forgot this. What is in this wine? What is in this wine?
Are you talking about Olympics pause with players not being?
Hey, how did you know that, Haynes?
Because I saw your tweet today about.
You're reading my mind. This is incredible. So that's exactly where I was going with that, because originally, it looked like it really seemed like the league was opposed to, even if NHL players didn't go to the Olympics, making up the games from the pause and all the ones that they've had to reschedule this past week. But the NHL seemed to indicate in the announcement today that there would be no Olympic break, seemingly indicating that those games will in fact be made up over that span. So interesting how things change, because I know before all of this, and maybe it was just because there was a handful of games and the league's hand wasn't forced. But before all of this even happened, it was something that the league was still saying, no, we're not going to make up time, even if we don't send players. So super interesting. Keep your eyes on that. Haynes, thanks for reading my mind, because that's phenomenal. And we'll move on to the next topic, which is Clayton Keller. Boy, is he having a year. Clayton Keller, he went cold a little bit mid-season. Started kind of wondering, although I thought Andre Torini, head coach of the Coyotes, had a really good quote about Clayton Keller after the New York Rangers game, the loss to the Rangers, where he basically said, I was never worried about him. Yeah. He's a fantastic player, and he always will be a fantastic player. And boy, has he stepped it up. He may have had a rough patch, but that's now a thing of the past. He's got 22 points, which leads the team 9 goals, 13 assists, 5 points in his last 2 games. So we ask you, and Kristy, we'll start with you. Is Keller back?
Of course he's back. He's not. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't go anywhere. He's a really good player on a mediocre team. Like, if you surrounded this kid with more talent.
Mediocre, I think, is being kind.
Well, I'm making up for my first statement, but he's fine. And the kicker for me, when I was going over his stats, is he has 3 power play points. He has 1 shorthanded point, and he has 2 overtime game winning goals. Like, his goals are meaningful and his points are meaningful. This kid's fine. He's not going anywhere. I would love to see him with a partner who's like almost worthy of his talent. Like, could really feed off of him. Sure. Like, could you imagine him with like a Roman Yossi? Kid didn't go anywhere. He's here to stay.
Nice. Like it. Haynes, bring us home on this. And I know you've been following Keller's career for a while now, so you tell me, is he back?
Yeah, I've been following this kid since the U.S. National Development Program. I mean, I've kind of had my eye on Keller for a while now, and I'll stand for Keller. I've done it plenty of times on the podcast. I'll stand for this guy for as long as I can go. And Kristy, I appreciate the kind words there. He never went anywhere, and I mean that's the case. I mean,
It's true.
you look at him when he was under Tockett's system. This is a guy who I would see play on, the short leash line, Garland, Schmaltz, these guys, 4 straight good games. And then Keller's going down the fourth line, and he's not producing points in 4 or 5 games. Makes sense. He's playing with guys like Johan Larsson and playing with Christian Fischer, and, no knock on those guys, but he's not doing anything. So to see him finally embrace a new system that Torini brings in, and to kind of finally really get the solid top line role and just actively just keep that role going, you finally can see him really getting to showcase his skill because he's getting those top line minutes every night. So I definitely think he's never gone anywhere. I think he's finally just truly breaking out and is really getting that proven chance to really show that he was worth being taken 7th overall.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It kind of goes back to some of the same things we've said about Chychrun over the past couple of months. Keep in mind too, and Kristy, you said he's a good player, albeit maybe a great player on a bad team. And when you're the best player on a bad team, guess what? You're getting all the attention all the time because teams don't need to worry about shutting down other players. They don't need to worry about shutting down other forwards. And he's getting all the attention all the time. And there's something to be said for that, because for him to be putting up the points that he is, and again, 5 points in his last 2 games, playing very, very well, is impressive because he's getting all of the attention from the opposing teams, their top lines, their top pairings. And I think it's important to recognize that. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's important to see that too, because you don't realize too how important a defenseman is for a forward. Because you need that defenseman to get that puck up to the forward.
Oh, sure.
And it's so important for that. And when you that's what successful teams have. And that's what I'm talking about when you see him play like a Roman Josi or a defenseman that can really assist and get the puck to him. It would be, this kid's unstoppable.
Yeah. And the Coyotes have been leveraging the stretch pass quite a bit this year and been doing it pretty darn well, actually. But nonetheless, good stuff. So let's talk about another forward on the Coyotes who's having what's looking to be a career year, Travis Boyd. So he's 4th on the team in points with 13 points. He's got 7 goals, 6 assists, had a 3-point game in that most recent win over Anaheim. He's having his best season since a 20-point campaign with the Capitals in 2018-19. He's 28 years old, a renaissance of sorts for the lad. And the question here, and Haynes, we will kick it off to you first. Travis Boyd, have you been impressed by him this season? What has he brought to the Coyotes?
I've been thoroughly impressed. I mean, this guy, kind of came to this team as, a stable 4th liner. You're going to back in the back part of the down line. We're not expecting to be a winning team, but we expect you to be one of those physical, forceful kind of guys, who gets a, greasy goal here and there. And he's taken that role, but he's expanded on. He knows teams are looking at him as a, that greasy, grindy kind of 4th line guy. And he's rolling with it. And he's putting the puck in the back of the net. He's making smart moves. He's crashing the net. He's doing everything that you could ask for a guy and more right now. And I mean, it's good for him. I mean, to see a guy like that, who, most people, you look at your 4th line, you think, it's a valuable guy. He brings big to us. And, some people look at 4th line guys as just, it's a guy just on a 4th line spot, just trying to fill a spot on a team. He is embracing that role, and he's really, really taking a liking to it. And I really would love to see the team bring him back. Considering he came to this team as just a fill-in piece, just on this team that was just taking on players, I would really love to see him finish strong, continue how he is, and come back next year with maybe a different look team.
Yep, absolutely. And obviously, by the way, 13 points are still a little short of his career high of 20, but he does have a career high in goals already this year. 7 is the most he's scored in a single season. So, Kristy, your thoughts on our friend, Mr. Boyd, and the type of season he's having in the desert?
I would just like to give him the unsung hero title.
Ooh, I like it.
And the way that Haynes just described him, it's almost the way you would describe a Blake Coleman type player as well. And we all know how important those players can be.
Look at that. Your analogies are on point today.
Yeah, until I gave the impression that Keller was a defenseman. But other than that, we're circling back. We're doing good.
I thought you were talking about the defenseman getting up to Keller.
That's what I was.
That.
But then in my moment, I had a moment and I was like, wait, did it just sound like I said he was a defenseman? So we had to
No. It made I think it made perfect sense. Although I think the cheap wine is transcending Zoom at this point and getting into everybody's head. So look out, Haynes. Look out.
Arizioni does not have any issues. He commits 100%, so he's good.
Absolutely true. Well, let's take a quick time out. Please toss us a like at home, hit subscribe, be sure to comment. Thank you again for watching. Make sure you check out all our other shows on the Hockey Writers Network. We've got Saber Scoop, the Hockey Writers Grindline, Chicks and Sticks, What's Crackin', Blackhawks Banter, Prospects Corner. It goes on and on and on. Follow us on Twitter at Howlers THW. Follow Kristy on Twitter at @instilettos_NHL. Updated handle there. Well done, Kristy.
Thank you.
We've got our morning newsletter, Morning Skate. Make sure you sign up for that. We've got our Discord server. Hop in on game days, especially home game days. Join me from the press box. We'll chat it up. And thanks for watching. Leave us a comment down below. We love when you leave us comments. We talk about them the next week, and I just really appreciate you tuning in week after week. So thanks, and looking forward to seeing you next week too. Now, like I said before, this is the last show we have before Christmas. So the Hockey Writers collectively has been releasing a series of articles, Dear Santa, Santa's wish list, things like that. So I ask you guys, what are you asking Santa for this year from a hockey perspective? And I'm guessing I'm going to steal Haynes' thunder already. So I'm going to throw mine out there, and then Haynes, if it's the same, so be it. But I'm going to say what I'm asking for Christmas is a new home.
You stole my answer.
I mean, it's the low hanging fruit, right? But it's also the truth. Things are in such limbo here in Arizona because there's no future deal. There's no deal for next year. There's always the chatter of relocation. And so I'm throwing out a new home. That's my wish list for Santa. Kristy, sounds like you and I are on the same page.
100%. But there's so many things that Arizona needs. So it's not like there's only one answer here. I guess the other obvious would be the first overall pick. Although if we're not going to be greedy, top three, we'll take a top three.
I like
even 7 up to 7. We can even get another 7. That works as well.
Up to 7.
We can get another Clayton Keller. We could do that.
Oh, okay.
We could do that.
All right.
Fine with that.
But
yeah, number one, ideally.
I feel like this season, just enduring this season, deserves top 2.
The fans deserve number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely agree. I like it. That was a good pivot too. Haynes, bring us home on this one. What are you asking Santa for?
Yeah, a home is the biggest one there. I would like the Coyotes, to announce where they're going to play past the season, plans for an arena going forward. And I'm going to shamelessly plug the podcast because we talked about this last night.
I love it when you do it.
We kind of went off it a little bit. We kind of just, as a Coyotes fan, what do we want? Kind of same thing, New Year's resolution. And for me, something I want for Christmas from the Coyotes, as being a Coyotes fan, I want to know who is actually a key piece of this team going forward, because beginning of the season, we thought it was Jacob Chikrin, thought it was Clayton Keller, and maybe 1 or 2 other guys. We thought Aiden Hill at one point. He got moved during the offseason. Sure. And all of a sudden now the Coyotes are not gauging offers, but they're listening to offers on Jacob Chikrin. I know I don't like having to say it either, but the team is listening to offers
saw me shaking my
on
head.
Jacob Chikrin, and that makes me wonder now is who does Bill Armstrong, does he see anybody as a key piece of this team, or does he see everybody, if he has the right deal, does he see everybody as trade bait? Because I would just like to know where he looks at the team and who he actually says, this is untouchable, he's untouchable. Those 3-4 guys, those guys are going to be the key parts of this team going forward in the future. So I would just kind of like to know that role of where he's looking at it.
I mean, what a great point. Seriously, man, because, there may not be a player on the NHL roster in Arizona that's untouchable. Yeah. In the organization, you have to think a player like Gunther is untouchable.
Oh, definitely.
But he's still playing in the WHL for Edmonton. Shout out to our producer, Matthew. You guys go check out, I don't remember the show name, WHL Report, something like that. Check it out.
You talking about Western Centric? their
Yes,
podcast.
There it is. There it is. That's the one. Thank you. Haynes,
MVP again.
You're on it. You're on it. But yeah, so I think who is safe now personally, and you know how I feel. I've made it very well known how I feel about this. Armstrong's not shopping Chikrin. Elliot Friedman wanted clicks, and let me tell you, I did the Jacob Chikrin doc page for the Hockey Writers docs, and I'm grateful for all the chatter because a lot of people are looking him up, but he's not going anywhere unless the offer is so ridiculous that everybody would actually be happy to see him leave because the offer was so ridiculous. I don't see that happening, but what a great call out because it doesn't feel like there's any stability whatsoever. And that makes it tough sometimes to be a fan as well. So let's pivot a little bit. We talked about the wish list. Now what I want you guys to do is name a song that you can equate to the Coyotes season to this point. And in keeping with the theme that we were just talking about, I'm going to go with Can't Find My Way Home. The old Blind Faith with Eric Clapton and Steve Winwood, but also remade later by Styx and again by Alison Krauss. So crosses all genres here. And I think it kind of goes without saying, Can't Find My Way Home. And if you've never heard that song, Google it. It's legit. Super good. It'll put you in a good mood. Kristy, over to you. Name a song that you can equate to the Coyotes season this year.
Oh, this is going to sound so sad. I did Disappointment by the Cranberries, but on a positive spin for their season from moving forward, I have The Climb by Miley Cyrus. So there's hope from the disappointment.
The first time I almost had wine come out my nose. That would have been painful. The first time any Miley Cyrus song has been equated with hope. So there's that. The Climb. Oh, solid. Haynes, you got the last word. What's on your Coyotes Spotify list?
Yeah. Just from what we've seen this season, we knew it was gonna be a bad year, and and it has been a bad year. I mean, this team's 21 regulation losses, 6 regulation wins. It's as bad as it seems, and then you add on the recent whole arena drama with the Bills not being paid, even though they just announced the other day that they did get everything paid, and still the relocation rumors. I would say the best song would just be AC/DC's Highway to Hell. I just feel like the Coyotes are just on the highway to hell at this point, and it's just I feel like they've never gone off the highway to hell at any point. I feel like it's just kind of been a constant drive on that highway. And I feel like, especially now, I feel like it's like a perfect song title just for like what this team goes through every year. I feel like that should just be the goal song. I feel like after they score, it should just be, you should see, I'm on the high. Like it should just immediately kick off with that.
I was really hoping you were going to finish that and do some Howlers and Growlers karaoke because you might be onto something there. In fact, I'll give you a little bonus answer here because hearing your description, Haynes, literally put the song in my head. I can't get no satisfaction. Rolling Stones. So I think that one might be appropriate as well.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But that literally, the reason that popped in my head, MVP, is because of how you were describing the season. So good stuff. Well, thanks for playing along, having a little fun. They're on a COVID pause, so we got to fill the time somehow, right? But seriously, that was fun. So one more topic to talk about because while the NHL is not playing, guess what is gearing up? The World Junior Championships. Woohoo! It's the most wonderful time of the year. We got college bowl season, World Juniors. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this time of year. So simple question. I want to know who you're watching and why. And I'll throw out, so obviously Team Canada, Dylan Guenther, kind of goes without saying. Excited to see him play, see what he can do. Just a quick call out. Team USA. They've got 2 Arizonans, not Coyotes players, but 2 players from Arizona. Forward Matt Nees, I think I'm saying that right, with Toronto. He hails from Phoenix. And one of my favorite names in all of Prospectville, former Red Savage forward he's in the Red Wings system, and he's from Scottsdale, home of Austin Matthews. So that's a couple reasons to tune in and watch. Obviously, check out Dylan Guenther. If you haven't seen him play yet, you'll enjoy it. You will not be disappointed. And then I figured I'd throw out a few Arizona natives there. So, Haynes, you're up next. Who you watching in the World Juniors?
Yeah, I mean, Canada is obviously the big one. I mean, you're going to see guys like Connor Bedard. You're going to see Shane Wright, Dylan Gunther, Matthew Savoy, Owen Power. I mean, so many first-round guys and future first-round guys, first overall guys. And then a guy, the U.S. calls are great. Red Savage going to be fun to watch. A guy for me, we mentioned him last week when I hosted the show, is Joakim Kemell from Team Finland. He's projected to be about on some of these drafts. Recently on scouting reports I've seen, they're saying this guy could go as high as third overall. I'm hearing anywhere from 3 to 10. I'm hearing this guy's in the range to go. And he's a guy I'm going to keep an eye out for. The more I'm watching film of this guy in the last few weeks, the more I'm excited about this guy coming to Arizona. So he's one of my dark kind of little corner pieces I'm watching over there just to see, kind of keep my eye on to see how he does.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Shameless plug here, by the way. I'll also be keeping an eye on Team Sweden because I am actually covering them for the Hockey Writers. So shameless plug, but make sure you check out Team Sweden. Kristy, you have the last word on the last show before Christmas. Who you got in the World Juniors?
Luke Hughes, because I covered the Devils and his last name's Hughes. Like, it's a no-brainer. That's who I will be watching.
Enlighten our readers. Well, hopefully you read us too.
Yeah,
our viewers at home. What team is Luke Hughes playing with?
He is going to be with USA, and he is the last brother. He actually was selected by the Devils. I believe it was 4th overall, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a little bit bigger than Jack and Quinn. So he has size that the other two are kind of missing. And the Devils fans are really, really excited for him to hit the ice one day, hopefully with Jack, maybe with Quinn. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, it'll be exciting. Something. That would be fantastic. I will take all the defensemen I can get. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does and kind of how he develops compared, because he's going to be compared to his brothers. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make a name for himself instead of just being the other Quinn brother.
For sure.
Hughes brothers.
Is he the youngest?
Yes, he's the youngest.
Okay. Because, and I say that because, and my older brother, Nate, love you, man. I feel like the younger siblings tend to get a step up because they're always playing with the older sibling and their friends when they're growing up. So it'll be interesting to watch. And thank you for enlightening us there. Certainly all around, just excited to check out Team USA, see if they can go back to back, which should be exciting. And we'll see. But guys, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in at home. Kristy, thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Don't forget at home, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Twitter at Howlers THW. Thank you so much for joining. From all of us to you, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We will see you one more time before the end of the year. So until then, cheers.